I've been trying to figure out who Attorney General William Barr, who his counterpart was in the rise of Nazism in Germany. And I've taken a look at Goering and Himmler and Goebbels. And I guess it's Joseph Goebbels, who was the minister of propaganda in the Nazi regime, until he, like so many of these Nazi bastards, committed suicide. He and his wife committed suicide after Hitler did, but as you probably know, the really typical part of the cowardice of these right-wingers is that he and his wife killed their 6 children before they took their own lives. Something about fascism that just doesn't give a shit about anybody or anything, or when it's time for me to kill you, I kill you, even if you're my children. Isn't that nice? Now, you might say, oh, Jesus, Malloy, William Barr is no Joseph Goebbels. Joseph Goebbels had a doctorate in, philosophy? What do you mean William Barr is no Joseph Goebbels? Of course he is. Of course he is. He just hasn't emerged from his, his cocoon. He hasn't come out yet as a fascist butterfly. He's still in the chrysalis state, or whatever it's called, a worm, a caterpillar. William Barr. But eventually he will come out. How do I know that? Well, what kind of bullshit is this from Malloy on Monday? Already he's with the Nazi comparisons. Well, I've been doing a little reading over the weekend. One of the things I read was a piece that appeared in the Center for American Progress publication back in June 2nd, as a matter of fact. And what caught my attention was the headline, which was this: Attorney General William Barr is willing to destroy the rule of law for the Trump administration. Okay? Now, we understand that Trump is an ignorant savage, in addition to being a completely amoral. The kind of language I want to use, but I'm trying not to. Let me just call him an amoral son of a bitch. How's that? He's not immoral. He doesn't know what morals are, Trump. He doesn't know what ethics are. He doesn't understand, or refuses to understand, the idea that there has to be, in an organized society, there has to be rules. There has to be rules regarding how we conduct ourselves vis-a-vis our fellow citizens. There simply has to be. When I get angry or pissed off at somebody in the bank drive-up teller, because the person behind the glass is acting like an asshole, I can't pull out a rifle and shoot her or him. Can't do that. Because I live in an organized society that has rules. Trump does not acknowledge, accept, or understand the rule of law. And he wants it gone. And this is where the Goebbels comparison that I've made between, just for me, between the Nazi, who was the number 2 or number 3 Nazi in Hitler's regime, Joseph Goebbels, and William Barr. Barr is doing everything he can to destroy the rule of law. Now, how do you destroy a country? Well, it seems to me the first thing you do is shake the confidence of the people over whom you are the governor, the leader, the dictator, the president, the king. You destroy their confidence in themselves, and you destroy their confidence in the institutions that over a period of time regardless of the form of government, were put in place in order to set out for the citizens of the country we're talking about. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. This is how you do the other over here. When you destroy the rule of law, when you destroy what has become accepted, you're destroying it for one of a couple of reasons. First of all, because you realize that the rule of law is dictatorial, and it's not the rule of law, it's the rule of a dictator. And you finally rise up and you burn it to the ground. Another reason for destroying the rule of law is when you want to apply dictatorial power. Where the rule of law has been established, it may not have been followed by government institutions. It certainly hasn't been in this country over the centuries. But the rule of law was still in our documents. It's still there, how we govern ourselves. So a second reason for destroying the rule of law. The first one is when you want to overthrow a dictatorship where the rule of law is horrific. The second one is where you want to establish a dictatorship. You want to establish a system of fascistic government. And that's what's going on. That is what is going on now. And that's what William Barr is doing. Now, as the article at the Center for American Progress pointed out from the outset, the independence and integrity of the U.S. Department of Justice has been in total decay, total meltdown since the advent of this orange ape. Oh, and by the way, keep in mind, this is exactly what Putin wants. To destroy, he wants to fulfill the, was it Khrushchev, Stalin? Who was it that said, we will destroy you from within? And this is what Putin is doing. Where was I? Oh, yeah. William Barr. So the integrity, the independence of the Department of Justice in decay under this filthy administration. And if you remember back in the early days of the son of a bitch's presidency, when Trump berated Attorney General Jeff Sessions and accused him of political disloyalty because Sessions recused himself from the Mueller investigation, because Sessions had contact with the Russians also. And lied about it, if I remember. I realize that's probably Michael Flynn. There's been so many of these lying bastards who went to work for the Orange Ape. But anyway, Sessions, in a spasm of conscience, I guess, maybe his Christian upbringing, Sessions recused himself, and Trump never forgave him because he expected Sessions to do what Trump is doing. And Sessions, old marble mouth, just couldn't bring himself to do it. For some reason, just couldn't do it. And then later, after he pushed Sessions out, the Orange Ape installed an acting attorney general. Remember this guy, Matthew Whitaker? Who was nothing more than some little creepy bastard who was willing to be an attack dog for Trump. Matthew Whitaker was never confirmed by the Senate, which invokes serious constitutional concerns for sure. But confirmed by the Senate, oh, screw the Senate. That's what Julius Caesar was perceived to be doing. Screw the Senate. I will be dictator of Rome. Well, that didn't quite work out for old Julius, did it? Huh? Anyway, since he took over the Justice Department, this lying bastard, William Barr, who committed just wide open perjury during his confirmation hearing, which is supposedly before the Senate under oath. These people care about oaths the way I care about, I don't know what, empty peanut butter jars. In other words, zero, nothing. But since taking over, Barr has become an active accomplice in the Trump administration's efforts to turn the Department of Justice into something that the framers never designed it to be. And as the Center for American Progress reports, when armed protesters stormed the Michigan State Legislature to protest public health orders, Barr was quiet. Not a word from this rotund, filthy, amoral bastard, which was a real contrast, wasn't it, to his willingness to quickly denounce the Black Lives Matter protests occurring throughout the country as having been hijacked by far-left extremists, to which there is zero evidence. There is no evidence because it doesn't exist. But this is why I concluded that Barr is like Joseph Goebbels, the minister of propaganda. In fact, as the center reports, despite the vulnerable state of the country during this coronavirus pandemic, Barr appears to be ramping up the partisan nature of the Department of Justice. Of course he is. The objective of Barr and Trump is to effectively destroy the Department of Justice, to make it the Ministry of Truth. Many true. Here's a couple of actions that Barr has taken, that the center put together, that provide a dangerous and sickening illustration of the lengths that William Barr is willing to go. Now, we can start with the Michael Flynn situation. Barr's Justice Department deciding to drop criminal charges against a son of a bitch who twice pled guilty. Michael Flynn is just a disgrace to everything and anything that the U.S. military is supposed to represent, where it concerns integrity or dedication to protecting the country or whatever. I don't even know anymore what the U.S. military is charged with doing. But Flynn admitted that he lied to the FBI about his ties with Russia during the investigation into foreign interference in our election, right? He pled guilty to the charges. And there's no dispute that Flynn is as guilty as they come. And then he withdrew his guilty plea, or tried to, on the advice of William Barr and the right-wing neo-fascists in this country and the Orange Ape himself. And remember, the ape said that Flynn should be considered a hero. For what? For betraying his country, for lying, for working with a foreign power who set out to do what has almost been accomplished here. The changing of this dying democracy into a living fascist state. If that doesn't constitute treason, then there is no such thing. A hero. So William Barr's decision to drop the criminal charge, these weren't civil charges against the son of a bitch, Michael Flynn. These were criminal charges. So Barr's decision to drop those charges was done for one reason: to protect Trump from personally facing what would have been some kind of political blowback if he would have issued a pardon to Michael Flynn. And as the Center reports, quote, the Department of Justice's actions regarding Flynn were foreshadowed well in advance. DOJ political appointees overruled career Department of Justice attorneys' recommended sentencing for another former Trump political aide, Roger Stone. And that interference came after Trump publicly urged the Department of Justice to act in such a manner. Do you see what's going on? This is so serious. It is so criminal. It is so critical to whether or not the United States is going to continue as a country still trying to find its bearings where it concerns democracy. We've had 230 plus years to try to find that footing. And then along comes this rancid son of a bitch, Donald Trump, and his gang of monsters, including the Minister of Propaganda, the Goebbels comparison, William Barr. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to the ranting with the audio podcast or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.